Hey everybody, Jack Rabbit here. Today we're going to work on this challenge lock called Cake. I believe I received this from Burn B1 when I got my picks from him. Sure, excellent picks. At the time, I didn't know who the challenge lock maker was on this, but I looked it up on the newer LPU challenge lock site and found out this was made by Pudes. So I've been sitting on this one for a while, so let's give this a pick and get this back into rotation. If anybody hasn't seen the Lockpicking Union Challenge Lock site, I will link to it in the description. It's a really cool site to keep track of challenge locks, kind of see where they're sitting. We got to click on 5 and the core turned. That was really quick. But it's a good way to keep tabs on challenge locks and who's been picking them. And everybody, you can, once you pick a lock, you can check in. It's a really cool site. A lot of work went into it, so let's give it some love. But yeah, so let's see if we can get this open. All right. So at first I had gotten a click on 5. Looks like we might have some counter rotation. But I had gotten a good click on 5 and the core turned. Let's see. Can I do a little click on 1? It's like 2 is binding. They're all kind of. Let's see here. You might have to actually manually pull back in tension, a little bit of floating here. There we go. We got to click on 3. See if we can't. We initially got a pretty good core turn. This keyway is a little tight though. I think I keep pushing on the warding. Because it feels like warding. There we go. So I'm gonna click on 4 that time. Let's see. Use extremely light tension. Almost gonna let it hold itself up here. I felt a little counter rotation there. 1, 2. 3 is binding, but it's not. Pull back on tension and get that set, and then try to go back and we'll grab 5 again. Okay, we got a little core turn. I think 3 was a pretty high set, but it was really hard to get into place. Counter rotation there on 4. Really good click. Okay, clicked 5 again. I dropped it. Making a little progress. Counter rotation there on 4. I have to manually pull back on that a bit. Okay. One's binding real good. Let's float that back a little bit. All right, 1 is set now. It's clear that I need to float this. So let me go. There we go. Now I got a good quarter turn. There we go. We got an open. Just need some floating. All right, so let me so we'll pull the key out here. Taped in there. Yeah, you can see we got a good open here. So we are gonna take this out of the mount out of here. We'll give this a gut and see what's inside. All right, so let's close this up. Let's test the key here. Oh, it's not even like going in. Huh. I don't think the I'll have to pick this again just to get inside. Let me try to rake this a bit. There we go. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay. Well, let's get this gutted before anything else goes wrong here. Interested to see what's inside this one. Yeah, even this is tough to get off. Well, that launched. I guess we'll find that later. Yeah, it's real. All right, so let me get a shim. I think we are good there. Interested to see what's inside here because this is real tough to turn the core even with the key. Ooh, what was that? Well, that's interesting. Maybe there was a pin and pin. Oh, maybe that came onto here. I'll have to watch the footage back. All right, let's drop pin 1 and 2 and 3. Looks like pin 3 was a torpedo. Otherwise, mostly standards. All right. Let's see what we got in here, though. Set focus. We'll start with one. All right. This one's a spool, kind of looks like a barrel. That there. Two looks kind of like a Christmas tree. My tweezers are a little bit magnetized. We're going to have to fix that at some point. All right. Here's an interesting pen. I'll get a close-up look at these once I'm done pulling them out. Okay. Let's swap to the other side of the lock here. See, we get 5 is a 5 is kind of another Christmas tree looking pin. Nice if my tweezers weren't magnetized. Maybe it's the pins, actually. Not certain. Sorry about the camera. And then let's grab pin 4. Four looks like a nice spool. We'll dump that pin. All right. So let's take a look at the core here quick. Looks like we've got some pretty good undercutting on 1 and 2. Let me grab my flashlight. See, 1 and 2 looks pretty good and threaded. Looks like 3, 4, and 5 might be untouched. Let's run our pick across it. Make sure we got the focus here. Yep, 3, 4, and 5 are pretty much untouched. 1 and 2 are pretty good. Pretty good threads on 1 and 2. Right. Now let's take a look at the actual pins. So one got a standard key pin, and it looks kind of like a barrel, which worked really well in the in slot 1. 2 was a standard, and then like kind of a Christmas tree, very thin in there. That was really I think that might have been what made it really tough. Why I needed to do some float picking. 3 is a torpedo, and an interesting looking kind of a spool shaved off at the bottom. 4 is a clear spool driver and a standard key pin, and 5 is kind of like a little torpedo key pin and then almost looks like a chess piece driver. So didn't really have a huge effect though, because the core wasn't really threaded in 5, but boy, was 1 and 2, that really worked well. So nice job, Pudes. It was a lot of fun to pick, and I will get this off to somebody else. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys at the next one.